Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Monday, September the 16th. Starting off with Sidney Crosby. So I'm wearing the Crosby jersey. He will be staying in Pittsburgh past this season. Not really a surprise. As, you know, fantastical on ideas it might be that, hey, if he goes to UFA status, could he go, insert name a team here. The reality is he wants to spend his entire career in Pittsburgh. Is this the final contract? We'll see. But it's a 2-year extension, so it's 2 years past this one, of course. The cap hit stays at $8.7 million. To the surprise of no one, we knew that the cap hit was going to be in that range and that it was very likely to stay the same. The only question was how long he was going to stay. So it is a $9 million signing bonus he gets next July the 1st, and then he has about a $6 million signing bonus the following July the 1st. So a majority of this is bonus money, and he also has a full no-trade clause like he needs it. It's no movement, actually. I should put NMC. It's no movement clause because, of course, he's not going anywhere. So, yeah, Sidney Crosby will be staying in Pittsburgh. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section below. But I think it's the right move for Crosby and probably for the Penguins, too. Once they re-signed Malkin and Letang, you kind of have to keep Crosby around as well. The obvious plan is here to get back into the playoffs and try to take another run at the Stanley Cup. Whether they can or can't, we'll find out soon enough. Shane Pinto, being interviewed, knew that the topic of the gambling suspension would come up. And he basically says he didn't know that what he was doing was, basically it's illegal. So, when you're doing a 50-50 draw or you're on some kind of an app and it says, are you located in this jurisdiction? So, for instance, I do the 50-50 draws for the Canucks games here and there. Occasionally, if the jackpot gets high enough, and it always asks me, are you in BC at this time? Are you 19 or older? All that fun stuff. And of course, I click check marks. Now, you're not allowed to enter them if you're not in that jurisdiction. And apparently, he had other people betting for him in the U.S. when he wasn't in the U.S. So this is what he says he wasn't aware was against the law. We still don't know exactly what he did here, but we know that the NHL was alerted by one of their partners. So yeah, there was some gambling going through in his name in jurisdictions where he wasn't, and so he didn't know. So he says he knows better now, and he's doing a much better job now of making sure that he keeps his nose clean. And he's very, very excited about this upcoming season, believes this team can finally break through and get into the playoffs. I will say having Shane Pinto for the full season would help. Once he signed midway through the season, like once he was allowed to sign once the suspension was over and he was playing, it definitely made a huge difference in Ottawa's lineup. So all the best to Pinto for this upcoming season. If you're a Sens fan, you want to see them in the playoffs, I think having Pinto in the lineup is really, really important. So the whole Kolosov situation with the Flyers has kind of gone back and forth. He's going to come over. He's not going to come over. He's going to come over. He's not going to. Well, now we're back to not coming over. So he remains in Russia. Elliot Friedman reporting that a second-round pick is the current price that Philadelphia wants for the goaltender. And then the question becomes one of, so if his rights are traded to another team, will he come over? And of course, that's something that would likely be allowed to be asked by any team that's dealing with the Flyers. Basically meaning that before a team would trade for the rights of Kolosov, give his agent or Kolosov himself a call and say, so you going to go over and play for us? And see what the answer is. But yeah, it's been an odd situation because the Flyers kind of came out with, no, we haven't heard anything of concern, we're not worried, and here we are. So we'll see whether or not he comes over to play. But for the Flyers, a team that's looking at Fedotov and Ersson as their goaltending tandem, that is one of the reasons why they're being picked to finish as low in the standings as most people are picking them. Kolosov was seen as a potential number 3 who might be able to jump in and get some games, but again, not coming over to play with Philadelphia at this point. No idea what's going to happen from here. We shall see. Talks are quiet between Jeremy Swayman and the Bruins, apparently, as the team and the player are having no agreement on basically almost anything. The good news apparently being that Swayman wants a long-term deal. So once this is done and the dust is settled, we shouldn't be hearing anything more about Swayman contracts and anything like that. But yeah, the sides are not close, and at this point, it doesn't look like he's going to be there for the start of training camp. And then it becomes a matter of, so is he going to be there for the preseason? And then things get a little dodgy from there. because, again, it puts Korpisalo into the role of being the #1 goaltender, which I don't think is ideal. And so the Ullmark trade is one of those things that if they don't get Swayman signed, and if Boston has a disastrous start to the season, it will reflect poorly on Don Sweeney. Jonathan Berggren comes off the board as a restricted free agent. It is not the restricted free agent signing that Detroit fans were really, really excited for. That would either be Raymond or Seider, but Berggren's a good player as well, and he signs a 1-year deal worth $875,000. So that way next summer we can go through it all over again. This leaves Detroit with $16.8 million in cap space for Lucas Raymond and Moritz Seider. Those contracts don't seem to be close. Seider is still practicing, I believe, in Europe at this stage. I believe Raymond is as well. And so that, again, is still not a great sign. For an example of a better sign, Cole Perfetti is practicing with the Jets, and it's being seen as a completely awesome negotiation between the two sides. So even though Perfetti isn't signed by the Jets, it's seen as not being a huge problem. Whereas when you've got players that aren't with their teams and they're not signed, it is seen as more of a problem because it says that they're not close. So again, training camps are set to open this week. We'll have media availability, of course, from all the teams too. I think a lot of that's going to be on Wednesday/Thursday, and we'll have the main training camps getting going. So the rookie games get finished up today, and then we get into the preseason games next weekend, featuring all of your favorite National Hockey League players, probably watching from up above, probably not playing the actual games themselves. That's always the question with preseason games is, okay, so you're paying a lot of money to go out, because it's not like they're dirt cheap tickets to watch preseason games. So you're going out to watch these games, and you might get to see 3 or 4 actual players for the team that you're going to watch who could make the team. Everybody else could be rookies, journeymen, guys on tryouts, this kind of thing. So at any rate, we'll see how things go with the preseason, but I'll be here to discuss that when we get there. And yeah, training camp it's an exciting time for hockey fans as the season gets closer and closer. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, did Crosby make the right decision sticking with Pittsburgh? Did Pittsburgh make the right decision keeping Crosby for another 2 seasons? And when do you think that we're going to see Swayman, Seider, and Swayman, Seider, Raymond get signed, and others? Because again, it feels like we've got more restricted free agents and pretty high profile restricted free agents who are still not signed. It feels unusual to be going into training camp with this many guys who do not have contracts. And if I had said 3 weeks ago, well, they'll get Nick Robertson signed in Toronto, but some of those other restricted free agents, nah. Which shows how quickly things can change, right? Robertson wanted a trade, didn't want to stay in Toronto. Now he's re-signed in Toronto. So for anybody who's panicked right now about Swayman or any of the other restricted free agents, things can change very, very quickly. And again, I'll be here to cover it when it does change. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you've not done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.